Hi and welcome to my channel. I'm Dr. Carmen McGuinness. This channel is committed to dealing with issues surrounding relationships of all sorts, including what I call the primary relationship, the relationship we have with ourselves. I'm a board-certified behavior analyst and a practicing health psychologist. I'm also a nutrition educator. I practice out of Central Florida, and I also practice online with people around the country in many states where I am certified to practice as a behavior analyst. So today I am broadcasting from my back terrace. I was out of town last week, so I was broadcasting from Fort Myers, but I'm back here in my little YouTube studio, my back terrace, and the weather has gone cool here in Central Florida. It's dipped way down to about 65 this evening, so brr. So if you see me shivering, that's why. So today what we're going to talk about is 3 things that narcissists do that are not commonly discussed in the popular media. So the popular media and psychologists alike have produced hundreds, if not thousands, of videos about narcissist traits. Love bombing, ghosting, and gaslighting have been done to death. And I'm not saying there's not a need for these. I don't mean to downplay these behaviors or the coverage of them in any way. They're dangerous to their victims, and they deserve a lot of discussion. And although there are many people talking about this on the internet, sometimes it just takes that one more person and that one more talk for you to really get it and start to change whatever it is that's keeping you attached to this sort of person. So as I say, I don't mean to downplay those videos at all and that discussion at all. Certainly love bombing, ghosting, gaslighting, these things definitely need a lot of discussion. However, today I'm going to discuss 3 things. I'm just digging a little deeper, really, that narcissists do that aren't commonly discussed in the popular media, which are also very dangerous. So the first one, what I call narcissist gossip. And they do this. Narcissists gossip a lot, and usually about their past lovers. The gossip is, of course, his or her version of the lover, the relationship, his or her performance in the relationship, and, of course, the breakup. And the storyline that's pitched is very carefully crafted in such a way as to make the narcissist appear innocent and valuable. He needs your admiration. And so his story is crafted to suck it from you, even if the story is fictional. Because, as we know, he cannot be wrong, he cannot be unattractive or undesirable in any way, or bested in any way. The narcissist, he or she, must be valuable. They must consider themselves to be valuable to others and desirable. And most importantly, he doesn't exist, quite literally has no ego without your constant supply of admiration. It's as if he or she crumbles, turns to dust, and blows away. So that's number 1, the gossip. That's all crafted to keep you hooked and admiring him or her. Number 2, that's not commonly discussed in the popular media. The narcissist claims the narcissist who claims that he's dumped the other person, when in fact, frequently, he's the one that has been dumped. He's been broken up with. This one's pretty transparent. I mean, nobody likes to be dumped. We all might sugarcoat the details a little bit. But for a narcissist, it's absolutely life-threatening to be broken up with. So he will never report that he's been broken up with. He will always report that he broke up, he dumped the other person. And who would break up with that person anyway, that narcissist, because he or she is absolutely perfect, right? He may even truly believe that he did break up with you, or he might convince himself that you broke up with him because you couldn't bear the thought of him breaking up with you. You saw the cards on the table, the writing on the wall, so you moved along before you could break up with him or her to spare yourself the pain of life, going through that process of being broken up with and then life without him. So that's number 2 that narcissists do that is not commonly discussed in the popular media. Number 3, and this one's a doozy. After the breakup, he will organize meetups, coffee or wine dates, something like that, to rally any common friends that you and he or she might have had. The intention of these meetups with mutual friends is to ensure the continued admiration from the meetup partners. And they're usually one-on-one meetups because he wants to control the narrative that she or he is still his friend, is another purpose of the meetup, to make sure that you haven't sort of gotten to them and won them away from you so that they no longer admire him. That he or she hasn't been told the details of the relationship breakup. That's another reason for the meetup. The narcissist wants to control all of the propaganda around the breakup. That the meetup partner still thinks the narcissist is the coolest kid on the block, and that his supply of admiration will not dry up from that person. That's another reason for the meetup. And that the meetup partner might even provide a source of sexual supply at some point in the future. He or she might be testing the waters on that one as you have moved along. So regardless of the sex of the narcissist, the meetup will be with as many women as possible. And I don't mean this in a sexist way, I'm just reporting what happens in these situations. Why? Why women? Well, women are more agreeable than men, and I'm using the term agreeable in the psychological sense. Agreeableness, you see, is a trait that is commonly measured in psychological research and practice. It's one of the big 5 personality traits, and research indicates that women are nearly twice as agreeable as men, and self-report inventories. So agreeableness is predictive of being sympathetic, cooperative, warm, and considerate. So we see that women who spot the fictional quality of the narcissist over the coffee or wine, at the coffee or wine meetup date, is probably less likely to call him out because she's warm and tactful. She's not going to say, "What a bunch of rubbish that is, my friend," like his male counterparts might. So it's more insurance that that meetup is going to go well and that he can win over that female common friend to keep them on board and continue his supply of admiration from as many people as possible. So, as you might have already sussed out, the common theme to all of the above, to these 3 things that I've discussed, is to control the narrative. The narcissist's supply of attention and admiration depends upon his ability to control what people think about him, and thus he must control the narrative around him and any past breakups, relationships, and breakups. So he will do anything in his power to do that, including gossip, lying about who broke it off, and coffee or wine dates to make sure you're still his best friend. So, if you've recently broken off with a narcissist, be warned that your friends have been warned about you. Don't let it get to you. Just because they're nice, polite, agreeable, doesn't mean that they actually believe him. Not everybody maybe is as willing to go there with a narcissist as you and I are. So if it seems they might be about to fall for the same game that you fell for, the same number that he ran on you, then you might want to politely warn them. Don't drink the Kool-Aid. Just politely say, it's not really Kool-Aid anyway, it just looks like Kool-Aid or something like that. Do anything you can to keep them from falling for that if they're really good friends of yours and you really care. And it might be a time to actually come clean and be something less than polite and conscientious and all that other stuff that goes with agreeable, and just say it like it is, rather than see your friend get hurt like you almost did. So that's pretty much what I had for today. I know it's kind of off the beaten path of what's usually discussed regarding narcissists, but I hope it was helpful. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day. And I look forward to seeing you next week.